6 million years ago, the story of humanity began in a world vastly different from our own, where our earliest ancestors first emerged. Among the high grasses of the African savanna, the early hominini navigated a dangerous landscape, taking the first tentative steps of a long journey. By 2.8 million years ago, the genus Homo appeared, marked by a critical leap in intelligence, the ability to craft stone tools. 200,000 years ago, the first modern humans, Homo sapiens, appeared, creatures with a capacity for abstract thought and complex social bonds. For a time, we were not alone. 7 different human species walked the earth simultaneously, each a unique branch on the tree of life. Yet, one by one, these other lineages faded away, leaving our ancestors as the sole survivors to inherit the planet. The greatest turning point came with the mastery of fire. In the deep, dark forests of the night, a single spark changed everything. Fire provided more than just warmth. It was a shield against predators and a hearth for the first communities to gather around. With the ability to cook meat, our ancestors unlocked high-density nutrition, fueling the rapid development of the human brain. Fire also became a tool of industry, used to harden wooden spears for hunting and to forge stronger social connections through shared experience. From those primitive embers, a path was paved through the millennia, leading from the first tribes to the vast complexity of modern civilization. As we look up at the stars, we remember our past, realizing that our journey from the savannah to the cosmos is only beginning. Imagine a world 70,000 years ago. The sun rises over the vast African savanna, a landscape untouched by the marks of modern civilization. Among the plains and predators, a peculiar species was about to change everything. This was the dawn of the cognitive revolution. By the glow of a flickering fire, early Homo sapiens gathered. Their eyes reflected a new kind of curiosity and a deepening intelligence. This biological shift wasn't just about survival. It was the birth of language, allowing us to share more than just simple warnings. While other animals could signal, "Watch out, a lion," we began to tell stories. We started to describe things that didn't even exist. Abstract thought became our greatest tool. On cave walls, we began to paint the legends of the hunt and our spiritual beliefs. These symbols were the first records of human history. They were a way to bridge the gap between individual minds and shared myths. This newfound ability to communicate led to an unprecedented level of cooperation. Humans could now organize in groups larger than ever before. Unlike other primates, we didn't need to know everyone personally to work together. We were bound by shared rules and common goals. This flexible cooperation allowed us to track massive prey. Together, a tribe could bring down a mammoth, a feat impossible for individuals. Success in the hunt led to a cultural explosion. We moved beyond simple survival and began refining our world with precision. We crafted bone needles for tailored clothing and fashioned intricate jewelry. These artifacts were symbols of our growing complex culture. Knowledge was no longer lost with the individual. Elders passed down the secrets of the earth to the next generation. This continuity of learning accelerated our progress. Temporary campsites gradually evolved into the foundations of permanent settlements. The spark that was lit in those ancient caves never went out. It grew into the sprawling networks of the modern world. Today, our ability to dream together allows us to build cities that touch the clouds and connect the entire globe. From the savannah to the stars, the cognitive revolution remains our greatest legacy. It is the power of the human spirit to imagine and create. For hundreds of thousands of years, the story of humanity was written in the footsteps of small, nomadic tribes traversing a wild and untamed world. Survival was a daily struggle, yet we possessed a secret weapon that set us apart from every other species on Earth: the power of cooperation. By working together, we could take down prey much larger than ourselves, ensuring that the entire group was fed and protected from the elements. In the flickering light of ancient caves, we began to document our journey, leaving behind symbols of our shared experiences and the bonds we forged. Then came the cognitive leap. Our ancestors began to use complex language and gestures, allowing for the transfer of abstract ideas and intricate strategies. Knowledge was no longer lost with the individual. It was passed from elders to the youth, creating a multi-generational library of survival skills and culture. Roughly 12,000 years ago, everything changed. We discovered that instead of searching for food, we could encourage the earth to provide for us. Agricultural revolution had begun. With stone tools and sheer determination, humans began to till the soil, planting the seeds of a new era. As the crops took root, so did we. Nomadic life was replaced by permanent settlements, as people built homes meant to last for many years. This newfound stability allowed for a surplus of food. For the first time, not everyone needed to be involved in the daily hunt for sustenance. This led to the emergence of specialized roles. Potters learned to master clay, creating vessels that could store water and preserve the harvest. Weavers crafted textiles from flax and wool, while blacksmiths began to experiment with fire and ore to forge tools of unprecedented strength. Small villages expanded into bustling towns. Social hierarchies formed as we organized ourselves into larger and more complex societies than ever before. Irrigation systems were carved into the landscape, channeling the life-giving waters of great rivers to turn barren deserts into lush, productive farmland. From these foundations, the first great empires rose. Majestic ziggurats and palaces were built, standing as monuments to the collective will of thousands. Trade networks connected distant lands, allowing for the exchange of not just goods, but also ideas, religions, and technologies that shaped the modern world. Large-scale cooperation had transformed us from a vulnerable species into the masters of our environment and the architects of civilization itself. The story of our past is a testament to the fact that when we work together, there is no limit to what we can achieve. Look around. We live in a world of impossible wonders, a global web of light and steel that never sleeps. From the depths of the oceans to the edge of the atmosphere, our reach is absolute and our connectivity is instantaneous. But this dawning of a new world didn't happen overnight. It is the result of a sudden violent explosion of human ingenuity. It began with a shift in how we see the universe. The scientific revolution turned our eyes toward the stars and the microscopic. Then came the thunder of the Industrial Revolution. For the first time, we harnessed the power of the earth to fuel our ambitions. Steel rails crossed continents, and steamships conquered the tides. The pace of life began its relentless acceleration. But the true transformation was digital. We moved from manipulating matter to mastering information, giving birth to a global intelligence. Today, that intelligence has evolved into artificial intelligence, a mirror of our own minds, processing data at the speed of light. If we look at the graph of human progress, the line remains flat for millennia. Then suddenly, it verticalizes. This exponential curve is the defining feature of our time. We are living through the most rapid change in human history. To understand how unique this is, consider the scale of time. Homo sapiens have walked this earth for 300,000 years. For most of that time, our lives were defined by the cycles of nature and simple tools. The modern era is just a flicker. Everything we see, our cities, our technology, our medicine, is the product of just the last few centuries. It is incredibly young. And because it is so young and so complex, it is also fragile. Our survival depends on a delicate balance of systems: clean water, fertile soil, and a stable climate. These are the foundations upon which our digital towers are built. We often forget that underneath the machinery and the code, we are still biological beings connected to the natural world. We are the stewards of this unique moment. We inherited the progress of those before us, and we hold the future in our hands. As we continue to build, we must remember to preserve. The brilliance of our era is only as lasting as the earth that supports it. This is our time. A moment of exponential potential and profound responsibility. Let us make it last.